Where to even begin? So I'm a rock climber. I've done it my whole life, literally done it almost my whole life since I was like fucking 5 or some shit. And I love it. I love rock climbing. I primarily do it with my father. So anytime I go and visit my hometown, I'd end up climbing with him, you know, because he climbs more than anybody I know. This was a story of my side. This was back in the day, back when I was a teenager. The story of the Mace. Now, if you have no idea what that is, what I'm even fucking talking about, let me just give you a quick synopsis. The Mace is a very popular spire in Sedona, Arizona. It stands about like 400, 500 feet or something stupid like that, like pretty tall. The actual climbs on the Mace were established back in the 50s, I believe, in the late 50s. So climbing hasn't necessarily been around as a sport. It hasn't been around for like that long of time compared to other traditional sports. Climbing has been around, has garnished a lot of its popularity in the 60s and like 50s and 60s around there, you know, by hippies. So when I say that this climb is old, it's old. It's OG. It's up there. So it's a very popular climb in Arizona. If you live in Arizona, if you're a climber and you live in Arizona, you know about the climbing in Sedona. It's exciting. The approaches alone are worth doing because you're just outside and they're gorgeous. The Mace is no exception. I was 14, 15, 16, right around that ballpark. And we're going. It's my father and I and one of his friends. I don't remember his name. I have no idea. Do not remember. We park the car. We get in front of the approach to the Mace, and we just start hiking there. Mind you, it's about like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., like relatively early. Not that early, but still early enough to where it's hot. It's hot as balls. It's fucking blazing. I'm sweating monkey balls the entire fucking walk. And it's like a 40-minute approach. We get to the Mace, all right? And it's just this giant sandstone tower. This thing's fucking massive, ginormous. We're setting up our gear. We're setting up just about everything to start working on this puppy here. So my dad's friend climbs up first. Then my dad goes second. I'm belaying my father. And then it's my turn. So now it's my turn. And I forgot to mention, this is a multi-pitch climb. So like I had said before, about 400 feet, you can't do that in one go. You have to do it in segments. This is about 4 pitches, 2 vertical, one horizontal, and then the last one all the way to the top, all the way to the summit. My dad's friend goes first, my dad goes next, and then I'm belaying my father. So now it's my turn. The entire time I'm on the base of this spire, it's hot as hell. It's hot as fucking hell. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just gonna take my shirt off. And I did that. I took my shirt off and I'm like, all right, now I'm ready to do this bitch because now I'm not fucking dying anymore. Yeah, I got the sun beating on my back, but I'd rather have that than a sweaty fucking rag on me the entire goddamn time. So I'm climbing up. My dad can't see me. All right, but he can still belay me, that's pretty fucking normal. So I climb up. I finally get up to the very first pitch of this climb. My dad looks at me and he's just distraught. He's like, where did your shirt go? It's down there. Why? I don't need it. And like, no, why didn't you bring a shirt? I'm like, because it's hot as hell. It was very hot. It was very hot. But what happens next, you'll kind of understand. My father is wearing a long sleeve and a t-shirt. And when I saw that, I'm like, why are you in layers? Why are you in layers? He was adamant about me leaving my shirt behind. So he gives me one of his shirt that he's wearing. So he still has a sweater, and now I have a t-shirt. I'm like, all right, what? I don't get it. I don't. It doesn't make any sense. But whatever. Fine, I'll wear this fucking shirt. And my dad says that you're gonna need that because it's about to get stupid cold. I'm like, it's May. Cold from what? What am I gonna get cold from? I had no idea. Like, literally, sun's beating, 0 wind, mind you, 0 fucking wind. There's nothing. It's fucking hot. It's like 103 degrees outside, fucking hot. And he says I'm gonna get cold. I didn't believe him. Of course I didn't believe him. Why the fuck would I believe him when he told me that? Like, no, I'm not gonna get cold. Oh, wow, I was wrong. We're now on the second pitch. We climb the second pitch. easy, fine fucking dandy. It's a bit tough. These climbs are a bit tough. Because the Mace is old school, the rating system is tailored to what was difficult back then. Online, this climb is rated a 5.9, I think, and that's a sandbag rating. What a sandbag rating is essentially someone tells you it's this difficult, but it's actually this difficult. That's what sandbagging is. So this entire spire is just a massive fucking sandbag of a climb. So after the second pitch, the same exact order again. It's my dad's friend, my father, and then I go back last. We're now on the third pitch, and it's getting a little windy. It's getting a little windy. It's getting a little cold. Just a little brisky. And I'm standing there, I'm like, okay, there's still sun. There's still sun. Here's the spire right behind me. I'm facing 200 feet down, and the sun's right there. Like, it's still pretty good. I'm still pretty good. I still feel pretty warm, but this wind's a little cold. Now comes the traverse route. Traverse route is essentially where you're just climbing horizontally. You're going across something rather than going up. That's a traverse. For this climb, they wanted me to do it first. So, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. I'll do it first. Hell yeah. So I traverse it. And the entire time, I'm in the fucking sun. And this is great. I'm in the sun. I feel so good. I'm like, oh man, this is so warm and so nice. And then I finish the traverse. And now I am stuck between these two fucking spires. And the sun's gone. There's no sun anymore. So essentially, sun's right here. I'm traversing. Sun's gone. Sun doesn't exist now. And then I'm in the shade. I'm sitting here just waiting for my father and his friends to finish the traverse. So I'm in the shade for a bit longer. And now I'm freezing. The winds just got worse. It's literally the wind's whistling through my fucking head between these two spires. And it's going like 40 miles an hour. This shit's stupid fast. And it's just... Now I'm standing there like, holy shit. Oh my fucking God. I'm freezing. I'm fucking freezing. My dad's friend comes to the side, and then now finally my father. So now all three of us are here. Now time for the last pitch. Very last pitch that we have to do. And this sucker's a doozy. This pitch was long. All right. This pitch was a fucking bitch and a half. This is the best part of the story. We're on the last pitch, and the first person to go up is my father. My father is a phenomenal climber. He's one of the greatest climbers that I've ever known in my life, hands down. Fucking hands down. He goes up this bitch without a fucking problem, leading the entire way up. This is the last climb, like I said. So now, when he finished this last climb, he's on the summit. He's on top of the spire. So he's sitting here, setting everything up for us to trail behind him. He can't see us. Okay? That's really important. My father cannot see who's climbing, what we're doing. And at this point, we've already been on this spire for a couple of hours. I'm sick and tired of this shit. Instead of going one at a time, I went with my dad's friend. We both climbed at the exact same time. He was right in front of me and I trailed right behind him. That is not advised. You should never fucking do that ever. But we were done with this climb. We wanted to go the fuck home. Do not, if you are a climber, if you ever want to climb, do not fucking do this. Do not belay two people at the same time. Do not fucking do it. And here is why. Like I had said before, the end of the third pitch, I was in between two spires. We were in between two spires, okay? The spire to our left, the one that we're climbing, is taller than the one to our right, okay? The one to our right kind of like stops right here, and the summit is like maybe like 20 feet above, while the rest of the climb is about 80 feet high. This is why you don't do a belay. We're climbing. I'm following my dad's friend the entire way up, and we have to go slow because my dad is belaying two fucking people. So he's having to pull one rope, position himself, pull the other rope, position himself. So we're going slowly. And this climb easily took us like 45 minutes to do. Right at the end, so right at the top of this four pitch, there's sort of this kind of like concaving roof that you have to kind of mantle over, kind of stretch out and just like go to the side. My dad's friend goes up and he's kind of climbing out like that, all right? and he gets himself positioned to where I go next. Not only can my father not see us, he can't hear us because there's 60-mile-an-hour winds. We can't say anything because it won't be heard. No fucking communication whatsoever, okay? So my dad's friend gets to this point where he's like, all right, T, go ahead, come to me. I'm like, all right, cool. This is the hardest part of the climb. This is probably actually the hardest part of the entire fucking spire. And right now I'm drained. I can't feel my fucking hands. I can't do anything. So I'm starting to climb over just ever so slightly, and I'm draining myself because I'm climbing like this, essentially. I'm just like, oh, fucking, oh, bitch, cocks, shit, motherfucker. I tire myself out. So I just let go. I'm like, all right, take! I yell to my father in hopes that he hears me. And I lean back. And the second I lean back, I start falling. And I start falling for about 40 feet. Just instantly, just straight down. Remember how I mentioned that there was 2 spires? This one's a little bit shorter than this one. Yeah, well, I'm over here. You see my hand? No. I'm over here, and this is the short spire. I'm about to fall on it. I'm about to land on the other spire and fucking die. If not die, break my spine. I'm gonna get hurt. The next thing that happens is I get caught. And now I'm just dangling in the fucking air. I'm like this. I'm just dangling like, holy shit. The spire underneath me, probably 3 feet away from me. Probably 3 feet. Most likely 3 feet. I could lean over and touch it. That's how fucking close I was. What had happened was my father at the top noticed that one of the 2 ropes was just going through really fast. What he did was grabbed the rope. That's how you lose fingers. I'm not kidding. That's actually how you lose fingers. That's how you lose a hand. That's how you hurt yourself. He had no choice, essentially, because I was on the other end of that rope. If he hadn't done what he did, I probably would have died. At the least, broken my spine. True story. I escaped death that fucking day. I go back on the wall, I swing myself over, grab onto the wall, and then now I'm done. Now I'm like, okay, cool. I climb up the rest of the way. Like, oh yeah, I'm probably gonna lose a pinky, but I just don't care. I just don't care. I wanna get done. So we all end up getting on top of the fucking summit. We're on top of the Mace. Yeah! One of the worst fucking climbs that I've ever done in my goddamn life. But I'm really thankful that I got the opportunity to do it because it's also one of the greatest climbs to do in the fucking, in Arizona. But it still sucked. So now on top of the summit, now we're having to deal with getting down. I had mentioned earlier that the wind's velocity was at like 40 miles an hour. Now 400 feet up in the air, it's at like 80. Like, it feels like you're standing in front of a fucking highway and just cars are wee, 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 wee. That's how fast this fucking wind was. That's what I did not anticipate. That's the fucking reason why I went up without a shirt. Because I didn't know that it was gonna be that fucking windy. Who would have fucking known? Not my dumbass. When you're rappelling down a spire, essentially you're just grabbing the rope that you have and you're throwing it over. And of course you have to make sure that it's hitched up and everything, but you're throwing it over so that you can take the rope and rappel down. I can't exaggerate this. This wind was fucking brutal. It was brutal. I have no idea why. When we threw the rope, the wind caught it and was like, haha, nope. Took the rope away from us. So we'd had to do this like several fucking times. We bring the rope back, we throw it, wind, haha, JK. Do it again. Get the rope, throw it, ha, fuck you. Do it again. Throw the rope, small pee-pee. This shit was fucking awful. We were up here for another half a fucking hour trying to throw this goddamn rope down the side of the spire so that we can go the fuck home. The rope ended up going down where we wanted it to go. And yeah, it was kind of like dragging along in the wind, but it was fine. We went down and we had to do it again, but now we were a little bit lower so the wind wasn't that fucking strenuous. We end up finally getting down to the base of the spire on fucking ground level. We get in the car and we drive home. That's it. That's literally it. That's it. I need a drink. Thank you, drink. There you go, people. That's the story of the Mace.